everyone, today we'll be doing the question name water trap problem. In this problem, we need to find out the area of the water that has been trapped into the blocks. So for doing this problem, we actually have four approaches. The first approach is the array processing. But the array processing approach takes times of n square, but we're gonna ditch it because we don't want to sound naive to the interviewer, right? So the second approach is the dynamic approach, but in that approach we are actually traversing our array three times, that is left to right, left right to left, and the main one. But we're gonna dish it as well because we have a better approach, that is a stack approach. For this approach, the time complexity and the space complexity is O(n). So yeah, so the initial steps would be to declaring I know the right spellings are wrong. Okay, so I'll be declaring one stack, and then I'll be traversing my array from left to right, right? And if the current element, that current block, is greater than the element that is stored into the stack, then we can infer that the current top element on the stack is actually confined between the current block that I am using, right, and the element that is present before it. So the water that we are getting is from S top, right? And then we are just gonna calculate the length, the width, and the length, right? And I'm gonna multiply it and find the area and just push it into a result. Okay, so let me just pictorially represent it to you from the diagram. Okay, so here is one this. Okay, so let me just mark it up. Okay, so I'll not be doing this, so I'm just gonna mark it up here. So I'm actually creating a S. Remember, I'm actually pushing the place where the blocks are contained, not the block numbers. Okay, so let me traverse from left to right. Okay, so I'll be pushing 0 over here. Okay, so when I am moving to the one which is actually not greater, so I am pushing my one here as well. So when I move to the 2, that is the third element, I can see that it is greater than the one before that. So we can infer that the element before that has some water. So I'll have my current as this. Okay, and I'll create one top element. Okay, so I'll be popping it from here, and that top would be this one. Okay, so let me just calculate the length. uh, Length, okay, so the length would be 2, that is my current I, minus this 0, minus the 1 because it is starting from 0. So my length is 1. Okay, so I'll be calculating the height, and height would, remember, the height would be this height, so that would be 2, right? The Remember, the height would be the minimum of these two, like 2 and 0. So minimum is this 0 with the where the height is 1. So I'm gonna write it 1 minus the height that we over here. So we have height 0 here, so I have my height as 1. So to calculate the area of the water, that is 1 into 1. Okay, I have mispicturated. So yeah, so the area would be 1, and I'll be just throwing into it. So let's code it. Okay, so let me just rename it as H. Okay, so I'll be taking the size of this, that is H dot length. Okay, sorry, I am using I. So C++, so H equals to n equals to size, and int is equals to 0. That is the answer that I'll be storing into it, the element that is starting. Okay, and I'll be declaring and stack s, and while my I touches the end, right? So remember I have to use it till my stack is empty and the current element, that is hi, is greater than the top element, that is s dot top. Okay, everything looks fine, let's clear it. And int top would be equals to s dot top, and I'll be popping it out simultaneously. Okay, so if my stack is empty over here, is dot empty, so I'll break from there. Okay, so the length would be equals to the current AI minus the top element minus 1 because starting from 0, and int height, okay, whatever the spelling is, height is equals to the minimum of the current, that is hi minus comma s dot the top of it. Okay, I'm parentheses are wrong, yeah, minus the top element, h top, right? So I have my length and height with me, so just left it length into height. Okay, and else is not there, so I'm going to just push, that is I plus. Okay, everything looks fine. I am returning my answer, so actually I used it earlier. Okay, so I have, oh yeah, I need to close it as well. Okay, so everything looks fine, submit it. So yeah, it is submitted.